And I think, all right, what made this creature difficult? Was that challenge rating good for my party? And what does this next creature have to bring?
To answer your question seriously, though, the CR system is a little bit. I would say it's not perfect, and I'm not going to say it's flawed or it's bad, but it's just not perfect because it can't factor in everything for your party. Even for an example, I used a creature last night. Even I used a creature that I modified just slightly, and it was even underpowered for the group. Now, numerically, as the challenge rating system goes, it should have been a very difficult encounter unmodified. And I knew that that wasn't going to be the case because you have to factor in, well, my characters have these magic items or they have these powerful weapons or things like that. So that's something you have to consider when it comes to balancing the creature. And then also, I always try to think of things too. It's like, well, if it's not quite tough enough, could I have two of them? Could I play with the numbers a little bit more? And then I think probably my last point would be, can you try to compare it to something that they've already encountered? What was the last battle they had that really challenged them, and compare that to what you're designing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean those are all really good points, and I feel like the biggest thing that you kind of touched on, like, so if we're talking Dungeons and Dragons, what jumps up challenge ratings is things like resistances, where if your party deals its damages that aren't its resistance, that creature's then going to be weaker. So if it's just resistance to non-magical items, but your whole party has magical items, then that aspect of that creature is now not going to be as powerful. So it even goes if you're going up against a bunch of undead and your whole party is clerics paladins.
Yeah.
Any challenge rating there, you kind of have to double it because that's what they're good against. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time I look at, like Cody said, of course, you got to look at what your players are, what my items they have and everything along those lines. But then I look at, if I'm creating a creature from scratch to get my challenge rating right, or even taking something from the book, I look at something that I've already put against them. And I think, all right, what made this creature difficult? Was that challenge rating good for my party? And what does this next creature have to bring? And if, it's not checking similar boxes, all right, it's probably going to be weak. Maybe I should throw 2 at him or 3. And that's, I think, just a good rule of thumb for any tabletop game. I always feel like it's harder to, as your party is starting out, so like your first level party, getting that challenge rating. Because there's certain creatures that, their challenge rating might be like perfectly fine to go up against level 1s, but the good old troglodyte from 3.5, right?
Even in 5th edition, it's still brutal.
Yeah, it gets 2 attacks
very quickly.
Yeah. There's a challenge rating of like 1/4, and it's like nearly TPK'd us.
Yeah, I think it gets a multi attack that could kill like a low level character.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I remember that.
But
Frank threw that all at us.
But there's all those aspects that you kind of got to look at for a lot of challenge ratings and deciding what's balanced. And look at the creature, and if it's really the creature that you want to put them against, but you're worried about, hey, this resistance is fire, but they all deal ice damage, switch it to ice. It's now an ice version of that creature.